क्या आप IAS की तैयारी कर रहे हैं और कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स को 2.5 लाख तक की फीस नहीं पे करना चाहते? अगर हाँ, तो 22,500 रुपए में घर बैठ के StudyIQ के पेनड्राइव कोर्स के साथ आप IAS की तैयारी कर सकते हैं। आज ही विजिट करें StudyIQ.com।
Hello friends and welcome to StudyIQ. In this lecture, we will discuss about the new procurement scheme which was recently approved by the Cabinet. The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs has recently approved for a new procurement scheme which is aimed at benefiting the farmers in Indian economy. And this new procurement scheme is known as Pradhan Mantri Asha. We will analyze what is the scheme. We will see what is the significance of this scheme, what was the rationale of the central government for coming up with such a scheme, and we will also see what are the features of this scheme. Also, we will discuss what are the other pro-farmer initiatives of the government. Let us start. First of all, let us see what is Pradhan Mantri Asha. pm-aasha stands for Pradhan Mantri Annadata Aay Sanrakshan Abhiyan. It is a new procurement scheme announced by the government. It was approved by the cabinet recently, and this scheme tries to ensure that the poor farmers growing pulses and oil seeds will benefit from higher MSPs which were recently announced by the government. So the main aim is to provide remunerative prices for the produce of the farmers. The most important feature about this scheme is that it is a mix of several sub-schemes. So under this scheme, there are several sub-schemes like the price support scheme, price deficiency payment scheme, procurement by private traders, private procurement and stockist scheme, etc. So it is a mix of all these sub-schemes. Now let us quickly see what are these sub-schemes. The first one is PSS or the price support scheme. Under the price support scheme, the government procures produce from the farmers directly. So here we will see there is direct procurement from the farmers. This is to support the farmers by providing them with remunerative prices. Now second one is PDPS or price deficiency payment scheme. As the name suggests, this scheme aims at providing for the price deficiency. So if there is any deficiency of price in the market, that is if the prices of commodities in the market is less than the MSP, that means there is a price deficiency in the market. So if there is price deficiency in the market, the farmers will be at distress. So this scheme is aiming at providing for price deficiencies. So under the scheme, the government will pay to the farmers the losses incurred by them when the wholesale market prices are lower than the MSP. So in case if the market prices are less than the MSP, the farmers will be at a loss, and this loss will be compensated by the government through this PDPS or price deficiency payment scheme. This is a sub-scheme of the pm-aasha. Now coming to the third sub-scheme, it is PPPS, that is Pilot of Private Procurement and Stockist Scheme. Under the scheme, procurement of agricultural produce is done by the private traders, and this private traders will procure the agricultural commodities from the farmers at the MSP rate. So this is PPPS scheme. So all these schemes are under the pm-aasha. So these are the important sub-schemes of pm-aasha. Now let us see how is pm-aasha significant for the farmers. Certain states like Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, etc. These states are agriculture dependent states, and these states produce huge quantities of pulses and oil seeds. So when the production of pulses and oil seeds goes up, what happens? The wholesale prices will fall. We have seen in the microeconomics module that when the supply is more than the demand, what happens? The prices will fall because there is excess of supply in the market. And from the economic survey, we have seen that the production of pulses in the last financial year was very high. So production of pulses and oil seeds were very high, and this led to excess of supply in the market, and automatically when supply is more than the demand, the prices will fall. And who are the losers in that situation? The farmers will lose. The producers or the farmers will lose because they will not get remunerative prices for their produce, and in that situation the farmers will be forced to sell at a loss, and they may not be even getting the production cost, and this will lead to farmers distress. So in those situations the government will have to come up to help the farmers, and here is the significance of pm-aasha. We have discussed about the sub-schemes of the pm-aasha. What are the sub-schemes? First one is price support scheme. Under the scheme, the farmers will be provided with remunerative prices like the minimum support price. Minimum support price is an example of price support scheme. Second one, PDPS, that is price deficiency payment scheme. So in our example, if the farmers are getting less than the MSP, what will happen? The difference between the market price and the MSP will be paid by the government to the farmers. So that also will help the farmers to recover their loss. And third one is PPPS. PPPS stands for Pilot of Private Procurement and Stockage Scheme. So under the scheme, procurement is made by the private traders, but at what rate? At the rate of MSP. So this also will help the farmers. So the significance is that the farmers will not be undergoing huge losses at the time of fall in prices in the market. Now, what was the rationale behind introducing such a scheme by the government? We have seen that one of the main targets of the present government is to double the farmers' income by 2022. And pm-aasha is one step towards achieving this target of doubling farmers' income by 2022. So the rationale is that the farmers or the producers must be ensured remunerative prices for their produce, and this was announced in the Union Budget of 2018. So when farmers are ensured remunerative prices, what will happen? The income of the farmers will be protected. They will be getting a minimum income if they are getting remunerative prices for their produce, and this income will lead to welfare of the farmers. Remember, India is a agriculture based economy. Around 50% of Indian population is dependent on agriculture. So welfare of farmers means welfare of the Indian economy, and this will ensure more production in the economy, and this will lead to GDP growth of the economy, which we call as economic growth. So remunerative prices to the farmers is connected to economic growth in a way that remunerative prices will ensure more income for the farmers, which will ensure welfare of the farmers. So when welfare is ensured, production will increase, and this will lead to increase in GDP, which will lead to economic growth of the economy. Now let us discuss the important features of pm-aasha. First one is credit guarantee. So apart from the expenditure on implementation, this scheme needs some expenditure which has to be done on the implementation side. So apart from this expenditure, credit guarantee is provided by the central government. So the credit guarantee is provided for agencies which will undertake the procurement. This is done as a part of holistic approach, because MSP or minimum support price is not enough to support the farmers. So the schemes or the provisions that tries to help the farmers should go beyond the minimum support price, and this credit guarantee is one such provision, which is a very important feature of this pm-aasha. Second one is the price support scheme. Under the price support scheme, physical procurement of this produce will be done by the central government with the help of the state government agencies. So here physical procurement is the most important term, because under the price support scheme, physical procurement is done by the government directly from the farmers. One example of price support scheme is minimum support price or the MSP. So under the MSP, the government procures produce from the farmers directly and it is converted into buffer, which is later transferred to the general public through the PDS or the public distribution system. So under price support scheme, procurement is done by the government. Next feature is the PDPS. PDPS, as we have already discussed, it is a method by which the government will make a direct payment of the difference between the MSP and the selling price or the market price. So if the market price is less than the minimum support price, the farmers will incur certain loss. So this loss will be paid by the central government directly to the farmers through their registered bank accounts. And one important thing to be remembered here is that under the PDPS, there is no physical procurement of crops because the farmers have already sold it in the market. So there is no scope for physical procurement. And in case if there is any loss or expenditure, it will be borne by the central government in case of both price support scheme and PDPS. So under the price support scheme, there is certain procurement expenditure that will be borne by the central government, and if there is any loss incurring from any of these two, the central government will bear the expenditures or losses. From analyzing the features of pm-aasha, it is very clear that the government does not only want to stop with the minimum support price. The government wants to go even beyond the minimum support price and ensure that the farmers are provided with remunerative prices. Now let us also analyze what are the other important pro-farmer initiatives of the government. Pro-farmer initiatives means those initiatives which are trying to help the farmers. So the vision behind the government for introducing proactive initiatives are doubling farmers' income by 2022. We have already said one of the major targets of the government is to double the farmers' income by 2022. Now, the emphasis is mainly given on three aspects. One is enhancing productivity. When the productivity increases, there will be more output which will provide more income for the farmers. Now, second one is reducing the cost of cultivation. So, if the cost of cultivation is less, the profit margin will increase, and when the profit margin increases, there will be more income for the farmers. Third one is strengthening post-harvesting management. So, under the post-harvesting management, one main feature is the market structure. So, under the post-harvesting management, the farmers should be provided with remunerative prices. That means they should be provided minimum prices for their, that means they should be provided maximum prices for their produce. So, if remunerative prices are provided, the income will increase. So, these are the three main aspects by which the government has been trying to increase the farmers' income. Now let us look at some market reform initiatives by the government. First one is Model Agricultural Produce and Livestock Marketing Act of 2017. Under this act, the government proposes to create a single market, and this single market will have a single license, and under this single market, agricultural produce as well as the livestock could be traded. So agricultural produce as well as livestock could be traded here. The second one is Model Contract Farming and Services Act of 2018. Under this draft Model Contract Farming Act, the main intention is to create a regulatory and policy framework for contract farming. The central government has provided draft model acts for both of this, and now the state governments will have to initiate it. So many of the state governments have already taken steps to adopt these through state legislatures. Now coming to the remunerative prices, what are the initiatives taken by the government to ensure remunerative prices for the farmers? The first one is setting up of GRAMs. GRAMs stands for Grameen Agricultural Markets. Second one, wholesale trade at the APMCs through the E-NAM, that is E-National Agricultural Market. Third one is pro-farmer export policy. Export policies of the central government that will help the farmers to get remunerative prices through export of their commodities. Those policies will help the farmers to enhance their exports or ease their exports. Other important initiatives of the government are Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, which provides crop insurance to the farmers. Next one is Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinjai Yojana, which provides for irrigation facilities to the farmers. Remember, in India, a majority of the cropland is dependent on monsoon rainfall. They are not irrigated. Next is Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, which aims at enhancing organic farming in India. Next one is distribution of soil health cards and also hike in MSP. The MSP has been set as minimum 1.5 times the cost of cultivation. So along with this all initiatives, the Pradhan Mantri Asha seeks to enhance the income of the farmers by providing remunerative prices to the produce of farmers and thereby ensure the welfare of the farmers. You can find the PDF of this lecture on my Facebook page. Thank you.
क्या आप आईएएस की तैयारी कर रहे हैं और कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स को 2.5 लाख तक की फीस नहीं पे करना चाहते? अगर हाँ, तो 22,500 रुपए में घर बैठ के StudyIQ के पेन ड्राइव कोर्स के साथ आप आईएएस की तैयारी कर सकते हैं। आज ही विजिट करें StudyIQ.com।